I love Starbucks, but sometimes you got to hold just a bit of a protest. And I'm not protesting them forever. I'll be back. I'll go. We have a small group there.
I'm kind of like a what now? What happened? What did you read? What did you see?
It wasn't
what
anything I read.
What am I unaware of?
It really just might be my own little tantrum, and I just need to get it out of the way, and I'm good, and I'll probably be back tomorrow.
We can't just bypass that.
I'll tell you what the tantrum is.
Okay.
So everybody can hear it out there. Starbucks has gone to this new policy. So if you're in their dining area to sit down, make it your third place where you just chill.
Yeah.
They want to go more to porcelain mugs.
So are they forcing the porcelain mug on you, or did they give you the option to continue to have the cup?
You forfeited your refill, basically, unless you do a porcelain cup. So my boycott for a day.
Yeah, I want to see how long this goes. And I'm not going to dare you on this because I've learned, guys, that if you dare Justin on this, let's see, I bet you won't last a day. Like, no, 7 years later.
No, I don't want to give up Starbucks.
Well, welcome back to another conversation with your friends, Rhett and Justin, right here at Armchair Authentic, a podcast designed to steward our stories, our conversations, our relationships, even our laughter in a way that serves you. Now, today, Justin and I could not be more excited about our conversation. We can't wait to get into it. So we're doing something new today. We're just jumping right into it. You guys ready? Here we go. Okay, Justin, so I have a little bone to pick with you, and it's okay. I don't judge you for this at all, but I couldn't help but notice the moment you walked in the studio today, you set your coffee down, and it's in a 7 Brew drive-through cup. You want to talk to me about that, especially after I've kind of thrown them under the bus several times with the way that they've treated me consistently in a very flirtatious way. And I'm a 47-year-old man now and married 19 years happily. And I don't need teenagers flirting with me. That's just weird. And so that wasn't just a one-off. That's happened a couple of times about a year ago or whenever they launched. So you knowing that, coming through my town, there's a beautiful Starbucks that's brand new. And I know you like Starbucks and you like coffee. You like your gas station coffees, but then you've chosen to get this Devil's Brew. 7 Brew. I'm kidding. So I'm messing with you, but at the same time, it makes good conversation. So why have we chosen? Did you do an experiment? What was going on?
Yeah. See, I thought about you this morning when I was going there. I felt a little bit like I was cheating on you.
And it's okay.
But yeah, it's partially not 7 Brew. They just happened to be there on the exit that I got off on my way coming to your house.
Okay.
But so 2 parts. Let's talk about first why I went there instead of Starbucks.
Yeah.
I love Starbucks, but sometimes you got to hold just a bit of a protest. And there's a reason why, and I'll tell you.
Okay. Uh-oh. Great.
But I've kind of, and I'm not protesting them forever. I'll be back. I'll go. We have a small group there.
I'm kind of like a what now? What happened? What did you read? What did you see?
It wasn't anything I read.
What am I unaware of at this moment?
It's nothing that they've done that would go against any beliefs that I have.
Okay.
Nothing like that. Maybe I'm having a little tantrum.
Okay.
It really just might be my own little tantrum, and I just need to get it out of the way, and I'm good, and I'll probably be back tomorrow. But
we can't just bypass that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you what the tantrum is.
Okay.
So the normal Starbucks I go to in an area town that we live in, Mountain Brook.
Yep.
It's just one of my spots. I'll go work out of there certain days. On my off day, I'll actually go there. At the crack of dawn, before, like right when it opens, and I'll sit there and just write.
What time do they open? 5 a.m.?
Like 5:30.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's my off day, and I'll pop up just early, and then I get home and spend time with the boys, and they homeschool on those days anyway, and then me and Summer will get to hang out. But for some reason, that Starbucks has gone to all of this, so everybody can hear it out there. Starbucks has gone to this new policy where if you get a drink and you plan on getting a refill, first of all, they're offering you the porcelain cup.
And by the way, I had no idea they did refills until like a year or two ago, whenever you mentioned this.
Yeah.
When you're doing regular coffee and you're inside.
Right.
So,
yes. And by the way, that's a standard I've learned at a lot of coffee chains because they're trying to keep up with each other.
Okay.
But when you go get a drip coffee, which means that's the brew, that's not like a milk-based espresso drink.
Okay.
It's like you're pouring coffee in your cup. If you get that, and especially if you drink it black, that's free refills. It's the standard.
Yeah.
Okay, so Starbucks has always done that if you've had their card or their app, which I've had that for 18 years. And so, but right now what I do, just my method, I can spend hours in a Starbucks. I'll get there early and I'll get my coffee and just take my time drinking it. But I know in about 2 to 3 hours, I'm going back to get my refill.
Yeah.
Now, full disclosure, at Starbucks, I don't drink it black. My drink of choice is I put vanilla. It's like 4 pumps of vanilla syrup. And then I put whipped cream on top and let it melt and be the cream.
Which, by the way, they do not charge for at this moment of this recording. Like,
yeah, they do.
Do they?
Oh,
See, I always thought that you got that kind of like as a freebie. Like, oh, hey, will you just put some 4 pumps in that for me? You know,
It used to be like that.
Okay, so they've started charging for all that now.
They've really started charging for it, and it makes a $3 coffee jump up to like $4.20. So you're paying for it, but you're not espresso prices. Because that's going to be a $5, $6, $7 drink now. Okay. Mine comes out to like $4.40.
Okay,
and it depends because no Starbucks is the same. Some people charge and some people don't. So I don't really know the fact. It's not consistent.
Yeah.
But even for refills, you go up to get your refill. Some people just hit refill and it costs nothing. Or sometimes I know I'm going to pay like an extra $1.40.
Okay, so
for the vanilla and the whipped cream.
So the inconsistency somewhere, something's changed that's got you not boycotting.
Actually, not
them,
that. That's not my boycott. That's just me trying to let our listening audience understand some of the perks that you can get at Starbucks.
Okay,
but it's going to be inconsistent. So the porcelain cup, we've talked about that when I think we had Mark on our episode a few back. We were hanging with our friend, and we were talking about how they're going back to writing on paper cups.
Yeah.
But if you're in their dining area to sit down, make it your third place where you just chill.
Yeah.
They want to go more to porcelain mugs.
So are they forcing the porcelain mug on you, or do they give you the option to continue to have the cup?
They'll ask you if you want porcelain, and they're not even thinking refill. They're offering the porcelain to you. If you take paper, they won't give you a refill because they won't refill that cup. They haven't done that since COVID, and they're trying to save trees, so they don't want to get a second cup. And so you forfeited your refill basically, unless you stay in the restaurant and do a porcelain cup.
Okay, so inside the restaurant, you want to stay there, porcelain cup, but they're not thinking about anybody asking for a refill.
No.
But if you needed a refill, they would pour it back into not the same porcelain cup, but maybe give you a new porcelain cup.
I guess. I don't know. I've never had a refill with a porcelain cup.
Which to me would mean that you're using a lot of water to wash dishes now, right?
Yeah. I'm sure it doesn't make sense.
But you want the refill so you can leave, and you want to leave with your paper cup.
I like to leave because I'll drink about half of it. But I also like to take walks. I will get up. I'll get up from my Starbucks. I'll get up from my Starbucks and I'll go walk in like a neighborhood or the shopping space to free my mind up. And then I go back and sit down.
Yeah.
Well, I can't walk out with their porcelain cup.
Well, no, that was about to say, absolutely you can.
It goes everywhere.
Hey, Starbucks, guess what? I want to be truly sustainable here. And here's what I want to do. I'm going to take the washing the dishes away from you.
I'm going to take
I'm going to take my cup, and guess what? I'll be back here tomorrow, and I'm going to bring it right back.
It's going to be clean.
And
here's the deal. I don't want the porcelain cup.
I am not justifying people walking out of Starbucks with their porcelain cups.
I want a lid. I want a lid.
I guess that makes sense.
I want to walk around with my lid.
Yeah. Because it is a little messy.
Yeah,
you're trying to drink out of a porcelain cup. Walking.
Especially it's small group. You remember the other day? It's small group. I got it, and it was like the tower of whipped cream on top of my coffee. And you know what, though? I appreciated that for some reason. But so my boycott for a day.
Yeah, I want to see how long this goes. And I'm not going to dare you on this because I've learned, guys, that if you dare Justin on this, let's see, I bet you won't last a day. I bet you won't last a week. I bet you won't last a year. Like, no, 7 years later.
No, I don't want to give up Starbucks. I'm coming back to them. It's a day boycott. It's just a one-day boycott. It's
got to be the Mountain Brook location.
But I went there.
The location.
I went there. And honestly, and I'm not trying to call you guys out, but I guess I am for this one day.
Okay.
But I went to get my coffee the other day, and they put it in the porcelain cup. And it was like there just wasn't a lot of love. I mean, it was like a little bit
do the visual signs.
It was like a little bit of vanilla.
Like,
They just sprayed a little bit of whipped cream. It was done with so little care.
Sloppy.
That I guess maybe the lid covers up their non-care sometimes.
I guess.
And now it's exposing like, well, that was a crappy cup of coffee they made me. So I'm sitting down drinking this, and it's like warm.
Yeah. Because the porcelains do not keep it cold.
Yeah, no, it was awful.
It loses its temperature like the moment it's poured in this cold porcelain cup.
It's true. And I drank up real fast, and then I went and said, I'll take my refill, and I got my paper cup.
Okay.
So then I'm still getting my paper cup, but they'll only give it on the refill.
Okay.
So now it's just become a thing.
Okay.
Where, to my understanding, most of these places that still give refills, they're probably not putting you through the hassle of that. We're going to find out, because most Starbucks don't. But it's like the word slowly getting out.
Yeah.
Where they're letting me know this is to be better with our environment. They're going through the environmental spiel. Yeah. Great. If you love that, great.
I get it.
Great. Save a cup, save a tree.
Well, what's the difference? I mean, like if we're truly recycling these paper cups and plastic lids, which we are at the Starbucks trash can or whatever, it's like, are we really killing more trees? Or are we creating more products of recycle? I don't know. Maybe that's
I don't know.
I'm not smart enough to have that conversation or to even have that argument. But all I could think of, if we're recycling this, it's going to good use. But maybe people are like, well, you got to kill more trees. And well, maybe you just plant more trees.
Yeah.
Have you flown over the country lately? There are a lot of freaking trees.
We got a lot of trees.
There are a ton of trees. And in fact, Alabama is a logging state. What is logging for those who don't know? We cut trees down.
A lot of them.
Oh, I can't believe you cut trees down. I know, but guess what? Once they clear that land of trees, you know what they do? They plant a whole bunch of new trees.
They grow back.
And it's amazing how they do one simple thing. They grow back. You just said it. And I've never seen the trees not grow back. And it's almost like interesting. As long as I've lived in this state of 47 years, we've not run out of trees.
I'm looking at them right now.
Woods. I get it. Anyway, sorry. I'm not trying to get on some political stance. I'm just trying to have a common sense conversation.
Well, all I know is, I got off of your exit,
sorry.
and I am programmed to go to Starbucks.
Yeah,
it's even more inconvenient. You have to go to the left instead of just pulling into the right. I got to cross the street, so it's more inconvenient than convenient. But I've never given it a thought.
Well, when you come off the interstate that way, it's on your right. Which way did you?
Starbucks is on my left.
Starbucks. Yeah, sorry.
That's what I've always done.
Okay, gotcha.
Today, I just thought, I'm going to try 7 Brew.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm going against Rhett a little bit, but I'm going to see if this thing is a thing. And man, I had a great experience.
Okay.
I pulled right in.
Did they climb through your window?
No.
Okay.
He's like, hey, what can I get you?
All right. Was it a guy or a girl?
It was a guy.
Okay.
And he said, what can I get you? And I said, and I wasn't trying to make a joke. I was like, so how many brews do you have?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, how many drips? And he looks at me like, is this a dad joke? Like, because we're 7 Brew. And I caught it before.
I wouldn't have even thought that, but that is a great
I said,
dad
how many
joke.
brews? And then I looked at him and I said, never mind. Do you have dark
He's
roast?
like, I don't know.
Do you have dark roast? He said, yes. And I gave him my drink, and it was under $4. So about 50 to 70 cents cheaper.
Okay. Is it as good?
It was really good.
Are you just talking yourself into that?
No, I enjoyed my coffee.
Okay. And you just got a black coffee?
I got a black coffee with my 4 pumps of vanilla and whipped cream on top.
Okay.
It was, they did a really good job.
Okay.
They didn't over talk me. He did. Once he got my order, he was like, hey man, so what you got going today? I was like, well,
I laugh.
So
I laugh because this is the intro of like the what is it?
Dutch Bros.
Yeah, it's this idea of I want to ask you a question to see how far I can invade your personal space. It's the question that I'm like, I'm not saying I disagree with that question, but there's a way to go about that question, and I think that's the art.
Yeah.
That I haven't seen done well at places like Dutch Bros in 7 Brew. So yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah.
So he asked the question.
He asked, hey, what you got going today?
Yeah.
So well, I'll work, and actually,
I mean, what are we supposed to say?
I said
I'm in a car. I'm in a drive-through. I'm getting my coffee, man.
I went for it, and I said, actually, me and my buddy, we're gonna record a podcast episode today.
Yeah.
And now I'm setting him up to see if he'll ask. Oh, that's cool. What's your podcast called?
Did he?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Said it's called Armchair Authentic.
Yeah.
He said, oh man, cool. What's it about? I said, it's just friends of almost 40 years, and we're talking. And I let him know. I said, we're both ministry-minded guys, so it's going to be in that vein a lot. Dude, I'll have to check that out. So if he's listening, 7 Brew guy,
Seven
What's
Brew Guy.
up? What's up, Seven Brew Guy?
That sounds like an episode title. Seven Brew Guy.
Seven Brew Guy. So that
well, shout out to the
is
Seven
our
Brew Guy who
story for
did
Seven
exactly.
Brew.
Man, if you're listening to this podcast, bro, like I appreciate what you do. I really do. You handled it in a great way.
He did great.
Just know there is an overpressing line that you don't want to cross.
Here's
and
my
it sounds
my
like
feel,
to me he did a good job with
my
that.
feel of it is that they have maybe heard the same feedback and they've backed off. Because even the young lady who brought me my coffee was kind. She was like, "Hey, is this your coffee?" I was like, "Yeah, it's got vanilla, all that." She was like, "Yeah." I said, "Thank you." She's like, "Oh, have a great day."
See, that's
boom.
That's the way
I
it
was
should
like,
be.
I'll come back to that place.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying I'm going to drive through there tomorrow.
I know,
but I might. Just to create a conversation for an episode later.
We're investing in our podcast.
You'll have to really, you'll have to listen to next episode to see, did Rhett go by Seven Brew based off Justin's experience?
And did Justin ever go back to Starbucks based on his conversation with Rhett?
So do you think it's a mind thing that you really think the coffee's better just because you're kind of like, over the Mountain Brook
No,
thing?
I think because I'm open, as we've talked before, I'm open to any coffee.
Okay.
Gas station coffee,
you really
coffee.
are. You really.
So I have an open.
You're not going to get an espresso in a gas station.
Though. No, my less the places that I like the least for just my normal drip coffee are actually.
Hey friends, Rhett here. Want to take a moment and interrupt our conversation to simply say thank you to every single one of you who are our first time guests today. Man, it means so much that you would take some time out of your day, download the episode, and listen and join in on some of the laughter. It really does mean so much to us. In fact, if you haven't already done so, could we encourage you to find us on Facebook or even on Instagram? You can find us there at Armchair Authentic. That's at Armchair Authentic. We're also over on X. You can find us there at Armchair Auth Pod. That's Armchair Auth, AUTHPOD. All right, guys, now back to the conversation.
The places that I like the least for just my normal drip coffee are actually bougie places because they will give you vanilla, but if you ask for whipped cream, most places almost put their nose up towards you.
Yeah.
Because you don't put whipped cream in coffee, and that really is true. You don't.
Well, I don't understand why people don't.
You just don't. It's not. It's like even if you think of the Italian,
it's not socially acceptable for coffee
it's
drinkers
more like
around the world.
Around the world is the key word. Italian, French culture.
Yeah.
Like there's kind of faux pas that you don't do. Like coffee after lunch is the name of our small group that me and you lead, and like coffee after lunch really has like a what is it? It has a name, a term. If you were to look it up, like what would coffee after lunch be? And it's like
a siesta in Mexico?
but it's got like a name. It's like a cafe noir.
Okay,
like NOIR.
Okay,
which is when you would enjoy just a black coffee.
All right.
And so
you're taking me to a whole other level.
If you go, if you were to go to Italy,
if I'm in Rome
and you go and it's after breakfast time,
because I do that a whole bunch.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. Right. We want to. But if you go order like a cappuccino, you'll probably be judged.
Well, they don't like putting anything in their espresso.
Well,
it's
they
just
love
straight
it, but
bean.
their culture is the morning time is more time for the cream. So you put more. Like a cappuccino is going to be the foam, the milk with the espresso. They see drinks like that need to be more early morning time. It's the faux pas is after lunch. Yeah. It needs to be like like an espresso.
So here's my thought to that. It goes back to why do we do what we do? Like if you were to sit there and go back generations and generations, I think what it was is we only had so much of the really, really good stuff to make it good that we could only put it in the morning. So we went ahead and started that way. And then we ran out of it the rest of the day. So then we just drank it straight black. Like, maybe. I think that's probably what it was.
It might be.
And so, they only had a limited amount. And so they're like, oh, well, this is just how you drink it. And like the people that were like, no, we just didn't have enough. Like we would have put all the good stuff in it all day. We just didn't have enough of it. But now y'all have made a tradition out of this. And that's the dumbest thing. Like y'all should be drinking it with all the good stuff in it all the time. You've got that now. This is society you live in and your culture. And
I think they look at us like we're overindulgent in America.
Yeah. Well,
like they look at digestion.
Oh, okay.
Whereas milk in the morning, the cream digests better and it doesn't fill you up as much.
Is that what it is?
If you have it like later, you're actually filling yourself up more. You're not preparing yourself for the evening meal, and you're like you're putting something heavier on you.
I can't drink coffee later in the day. Like our coffee after lunch is usually my only coffee of the day. Like I drink one a day, and it's espresso. It's a vanilla latte with oat milk. There you have it.
Yeah, they would shun that.
That's it. They would chunk it.
They would shun that.
I said they would chunk it. Like no, they would chuck it. They would snub their nose up at me. Yeah. Now, of course, if I'm in their culture, I'm not going to act like I'm going to be respectful for the culture, and I'm going to be like, hey, give me an Americano. Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask for in Italy.
Well, they call
what do they call that, an Italiano?
They will actually
what do they call an Americano?
They will call it like an American something. Like it's made for. They know when there's tourists coming.
Yeah,
and they try to have a drink ready for the American.
Do they not
mindset.
have Starbucks in Italy? And if so,
I can't
do they not sell American?
For sure.
Yeah,
but I do know that I went to Australia back in. I mean, it was 2011.
Okay.
And it was a culture shock to me in many ways.
It's probably like a McDonald's there.
Oh, no. Like Starbucks does not succeed there.
I could imagine, yeah.
Because they have so many great spots. Like coffee is something you go sit in and you enjoy a space.
Is it a conversational space in those places? Or is it more like businessmen and women coming in just drinking their coffee by themselves and they leave? Or is it truly
I think probably a bit of both.
Like family and friends?
But it's a lot of it. It's not like franchises.
Okay.
It's local, but the Starbucks, like right in Sydney Harbor kind of area, there was a Starbucks, but it wasn't like crazy crowded.
Yeah.
Because we would walk up to go there and I thought, God, do I get Starbucks?
Yeah.
In Sydney?
And then they come to America and they're like, there's Starbucks, which is like the trash coffee we drink. And then they try to go to different places. And they're like, 7 Brew? What is this?
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, what? Where can I sit down and get some good stuff? Now, I know if you're in a major city, there are a lot more little bougie places and little mom and pop, type scenario coffee shops that are a lot better.
There's just so many coffee places. It's our culture now. And that us being from the South, some of our listening audience who from your Pacific Northwest, I mean, it's been more of a standard for you. But it was probably 1997, 98 before we really ever had the beginnings of a coffee culture. It wasn't normal to go sit in a coffee place. You usually got it to go. One of our friends, Jess, his dad owned like the Barney's, coffee and tea at the malls.
Century Plaza.
But
I don't know. Did he do the one at Galleria too?
Brookwood, Galleria, all three.
I didn't know that.
Oh, he owned them all.
Okay.
But he, there was no sitting inside of them. You would just get your coffee and walk around the mall.
Oh, bro, I remember the moment walking by that store. You could just smell it. That was before, man, I was a teenager kid. I had no idea what coffee was. I didn't have the money to buy any of that. Let's be honest. But like,
it always smelled so good.
They were like roasting the beans right there, or not roasting, but they're like, what do you call it? Grinding.
Beans. Oh, that makes the smell just,
so good.
I've always loved the smell. And see, they would also have, it was like almost like an old school candy shop.
Yeah.
They would have Jelly Bellies in these glass jars against the wall. I mean, it was just such a classy looking, it was like the care they put in their store.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I miss it actually. I'm getting nostalgic talking about it.
Yeah.
And my friend, that's the first time I had a Jelly Belly. I've never seen a Jelly Belly. So the only thing I knew to equate Jelly Bellies was Barney's. Matter of fact, when I'm taking economics, it may have been my senior year or junior year. I can't remember now.
In high school or college?
In high school.
Okay.
We're all assigned, we have to pick a company that we're going to do a project on.
Oh, wow.
And
did you pick Barney's?
I did, and it was Miss
Barney's. Did you pick Barney's? I don't know why I said that.
It was our history teacher, Miss Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. She was the teacher that everybody was scared of until you got her.
Yeah.
And she treated her class like,
she was a lot of fun.
oh, she was the best.
Miss Clark.
I miss her so much, too.
This is just a shout out. Miss
Passed
Clark
away a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I've got to shout out to Miss Clark, and God rest her soul. But I would not have graduated high school had she not just pulled me a solid.
She's
like,
pretty
There's
awesome.
No way. I'm like, how did Ray graduate high school? Well, Miss Clark had grace and mercy upon me.
She had so much grace.
And somehow, some way, I got that 59 up to a 60.
She got it.
I don't know if it was just because I showed up and I was kind today, and I got a bonus point for you being kind today.
She just probably thought that was your days that you looked like John Lennon.
I literally thought
she probably had a crush on John Lennon.
I graduated high school through whatever that history class was. I hated at history, and I tried my best, and I don't know. I could have swore. I could have swore.
Teacher, man.
I could have swore I had an F in that class.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I did.
You looked at it, it's like, I passed?
How did I pass?
No summer school?
I literally was thinking, well, I won't walk, and I'll go to summer school for this dumb class, and here we are.
She was gracious.
I don't know. Maybe she didn't, do what. I don't know. I'm
sure she found a way to create a bonus for you that it justified it.
I just remember the talk, Rhett, you got to get that grade. You got to get that grade up, Rhett. You got to get that grade up. You got to figure out a plan.
She never did, I don't think she did things, but she could find a way to not get legalistic.
Yeah.
And say, because of the things that you did that you didn't know you were doing extracurricular, she was like, we're going to call that.
Maybe there was the community
Rhett
service.
was studying his Bible. I'm going to call that some historical findings.
I will take it. Give it to me.
Because she knew you were fired up for the Lord.
Yeah.
And she could have found a way.
He might not go on to make much of himself, but he's going to go love Jesus and love his family well. So we're going to see him get that 60.
And that is
class.
much of yourself, by the way. That's very much of yourself. But see, Miss Clark was the teacher that you were nervous until you got her.
True.
And so that was but I was doing my economics project and I picked Barney's and I'm writing my paper and it's time to go present. And this was me like serious Rhett thinking, this is all I knew. There wasn't like the internet. You couldn't research. I had to go find what I could.
You actually had to go to the library.
I called
and find books
Jess's
called
dad.
encyclopedias and different things to do research.
You
and
had
write
to do
it all by
that.
hand and put it all together.
And I would call the dad and say, hey, so when did you get this started? He told me about the franchise. I always thought he created it.
Gotcha.
The franchise. And then I took what I perceived in the store. And so I began writing my project. And so we're talking, and I'm giving about the coffee, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Finally, at the end, and I say, God, what was it? Oh, yeah, I said, but what they are most known for is the Jelly Belly.
I knew you were going to say
bro.
that.
And I said it with so much confidence.
Like,
and the class is listening, and I'm like, they are delicious. And Miss Clark wanted to ask questions as you're doing your presentation. And she said, so Justin, she was like, can you tell us what it was that made the Jelly Belly so popular? And I said, the kids, they love them. Because the kids, they love them.
And parents come and buy coffee because the kids love the candy.
I'm trying to sound
that makes sense,
so confident because when she asked me that question, I'm thinking like,
Barney's,
I don't know.
coffee and tea and Jelly Bellies. Of course, it's right there in the name.
I thought Barney's made Jelly Bellies. I thought they created those. That they made them and they just poured them in those little candy jars.
Yeah,
because I'd never seen it.
Yeah,
and I'll just still remember because the kids they love them. And she was like, no, Justin, the reason is because Ronald Reagan every night before bed used to have a little bag of Jelly Bellies. And as she's talking to me, my eyes are wide open like, I'm busted.
That's so funny.
And so I was like, that too. So I'm sure I got my B on that grade. But the coffee in those days, just being able to walk the malls, getting back to what we were saying, we didn't live in a coffee culture like you may have out in the Pacific Northwest. So see, you had Pike's Place, you had Starbucks out in Portland. I mean, the Seattle area really beginning to grow. That's where all that came from. And now we're getting the franchise side.
Mm-hmm. It's finally making its way down here to the backwoods of, we just back here in the backwoods of Alabama. What's a coffee shop, man? I don't know what that is.
It's true.
Oh, wow, this Starbucks thing. Let me try this. Woo! Man, well, I'm missing out on this. This is redneck booze right here.
That's right.
I'm just kidding. This is what people think.
It took Barnes and Noble to get
gosh.
Starbucks to us because it was combined with Barnes and Noble, and they brewed proudly Starbucks
and
coffee.
Just so people understand, Birmingham is a city. It's one of the thriving cities, and it is a foodie city. It is a coffee city. But we lived somewhat in the suburban areas, if you will, of whatever. I don't know. I don't even know what you would call it. But we were just teenagers. We grew up in an apartment complex, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We didn't have money. We weren't going to any of these places.
I had powdered coffee I was making in my apartment.
We had no idea.
I just knew I liked it. I tried my first McDonald's coffee. I had no clue what was out there.
No idea. I'm like, coffee is what you got at McDonald's, Burger King, wherever.
I just heard my dad
Fast food.
saying 3 sugars and a cream. He'd say that every Sunday morning. I'll take a coffee, 3 sugars and a cream.
My dad, the only time I ever saw my dad drink coffee was when we were at a gas station.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Literally, like it was like at the gas. Every time we'd get gas,
He's trying to stay awake.
Get a coffee, and when we're driving somewhere, always got never saw there wasn't. I don't know. Is this different?
Next time we take a road trip, we're going to do the coffee gas station experience.
Well, we'll see.
It's so good.
Well, I might do if it's clean and it doesn't look like the pouring. What do you call that thing? What's this thing that the coffee actually goes into? Is a kettle? It's not a kettle.
Let's just go with a kettle.
No, you don't even know the name of it, do you?
If you wouldn't have asked me, I could have told you.
The pitcher, the coffee pitcher. Okay, maybe I don't know what the carafe.
Broom. The word. I don't know the word.
Whatever that thing is called, it's glass. I mean, you can see whether or not the thing's been washed or not. And if it's like sticky and nasty and
we'll find
stuff floating around it.
It's got to be a good one.
I mean,
Mapco,
if the gas station
Loves, Pilot, any of those.
If the restroom is clean, then I might drink the coffee out of the gas station.
Yeah, we would only stop at one of those.
Yeah,
because they got creamers. Some of them have a whipped cream.
Okay,
dispensers.
well, see, that's not what I think of when I think of gas station.
Oh no,
coffee.
we're talking we are talking bougie.
Okay.
Gas station coffee.
Okay,
and we will leave with a $2 cup of coffee that would have cost us $4.40 at Starbucks.
QT. Like we've got one down the street. Like a
Some
QT,
of those are good.
Man, it's like wow. That it's. I don't know if it's based out of Texas or the Midwest, but there were a ton of them in Texas. They were the best gas station ever. Super clean.
Yeah.
Like everything, the bathrooms are not, everything was always nice and in order. They had a bunch of coffee, like little cappuccinos and espresso or whatever it is. Yeah. I would drink that.
But and we talked with Mark a few weeks ago that we would go downtown Birmingham. It was more like the vibey spots. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Celestial Realm, the coffee house, and go get our drinks there. But it was more like mochas.
Yeah.
It was and it was so good. Like
I want to know why they named what they named. Like why mocha? Like I'm looking at this and I'm going to go, mocha.
Because it's
does that mean chocolate?
Chocolate.
Okay, maybe. Yeah. Okay,
it's got a chocolate syrup in there.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, maybe a dark chocolate. But yeah,
I'm showing my wisdom here on the air.
It's mocha. Yeah.
These are words we don't use every day. I use chocolate. I don't just call it chocolate drink.
Yeah.
Why can't you just say that?
It's not as extravagant.
That's what I'm saying. Like, hey, we put some chocolate in it. Call it chocolate drink.
Well, with us, when we were talking about other countries, like
some hot
a latte.
Well, like hot chocolate drink. Well, what's the difference between hot chocolate and a mocha? Is it the type of chocolate?
It's a type of chocolate.
Okay.
It is a little different.
Okay. All right. So therein lies the intricacy of calling it a mocha.
But I couldn't tell you what those differences are. People, you're listening, feel free to let us know.
Macchiato.
And we just won't look it up. We'll let your answer tell us what it is and maybe address it later.
Yeah.
But yeah. But no, with mocha, I mean, but if you order a latte, like overseas, they're not going to give you vanilla latte.
No.
Because we are the ones who do vanilla lattes
and there's nothing
in America.
wrong with that. Thank God for America.
There's nothing wrong with it at all.
I'm so grateful for the United States of America and the way we drink our coffee, man. I make no excuses for it.
We jump into it's almost like if you're going to drink a little shot, we're like, we want a 16 to 20 ounce drink of that little shot.
I mean, I have,
But you know what? In all seriousness, there's nothing like a good espresso in a little cup, man. It's so good.
I have tried a lot. And Jeff Roberts, I love you, bro. Yellowhammer Coffee, shout out. I mean, at the end of the day, he's like, dude, this is the best espresso right here, and here's why. And I'll try to drink it. And I'm like, oh my God, like that is so bitter.
Really?
So bitter. And I'm like, I know it's an acquired taste and it takes time because, I'm like, why, if I have to acquire a taste for that? I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, I try. And that's when I was like, Americano is almost like it's half water, half, straight espresso.
Yeah.
I can do that. And I like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's my,
that's what they'll make you, by the way, overseas. They won't have like a poured coffee. It will be that.
So I like that. I enjoy that.
It is Americanos are really good.
I like that better than coffee.
Yeah.
Like if I'm getting a black coffee or an Americano, I'm getting an Americano.
And just drinking it black. Yeah.
Yeah. Drinking it black, not putting anything in it.
Yeah, I love just good old espresso.
All right, so I have a question here, and I got a lot of different things I've written down. But one of the questions I had, and I think it's interesting because we are a podcast that is conversation, that is relationship.
Yeah, sure, because we're 30 minutes talking about coffee.
Yeah, exactly. So what?
The one about coffee.
This might the one about coffee. Well, here's the question that I wrote down. What makes a great conversation? Like what makes a great conversation? So if you think about that question, what is it that you, that or I, us, like, I'm not talking about the podcast. I mean, like, just like if you're leaving a conversation, what makes it great? Like for you to go, man, that was a great conversation. Is there anything about that question that's like, I've never thought about that? What are the ingredients to a great conversation?
I would think it's something that when you leave it, you are either inspired.
Okay.
You are encouraged because maybe you're going through a really tough time.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you at least, if you're going through a really, really dark time, you're stepping away thinking, I at least see hope.
Yeah.
Where I didn't before.
Okay.
Or you're just stimulated with, that was just, wow, that just got my brain going. Like I did not ever see it perspective.
Okay.
And it's two parties who are willing to have that back and forth.
Gotcha. No, that's good. No, I'm not trying to take it deep with this question. I was literally thinking through the lens of, I've never asked myself that question. Like, why do I leave this conversation feeling, oh man, I feel good. Let me go crush the day. You know, what was it about that? I think there's so many variables to that, but I think to me, all of the things you said, yes, absolutely. Laughter, 100%, but you can have a great conversation and there not be laughter.
Right.
So I think it's the ability to connect a way to where you're adding value and value is received. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm processing this right now out loud. So if I'm sitting here talking to you, if I'm thinking, man, that was a good conversation, that was a great conversation, it's not always what I give to it, or maybe it is what I give and then what I receive in return. Not that person really even said something, but just the fact that I feel like there was this transaction. That sounds too businessy. Maybe interaction. I don't know. Help me with the words here, but this ability to connect in a way to where you're actually making a connection, to where you're adding value to somebody.
But it could also be cultivating. There's a seed being planted in one of the individuals too, because it could be the scripture wounds from a friend. I can leave a conversation and not feel anything I just told you.
Right.
I could almost be annoyed that you just challenged me. And so does that mean it wasn't a good conversation? Well, maybe not right now, but if I go through a process and recognize my pride was keeping me from receiving.
Okay.
And then when my pride subsides and turns into humility, I get to look back and realize that was a game changer conversation. And I didn't realize it then. That was hurtful to me. I blamed the person, but over time I realized that was the greatest thing they could have said. Because it didn't tickle my ears.
There was accountability and that caused you to grow.
And I had to, there had to be the seed planted, but the season finally hit where my pride was lowered enough to realize, oh, that was great advice.
Yeah.
So that would have been a good conversation, but there was no immediate gratification I got from it.
Okay.
But it was two hearts connecting.
Yeah.
But
so I think it
would have been trust that was built between the two parties, though. So it wasn't someone coming out of left field who doesn't know me.
Yeah, no.
Because it's keyword wounds from a friend.
From a friend.
It wasn't wound from a stranger.
Right. It's somebody that you built trust and relational equity with to give you the opportunity to have that kind of honest conversation to lead to a healthy place. And to know that the intent of the conversation is always coming from the angle that this person has my best interest at heart.
And then even reversing that, what if I leave a conversation encouraged because I'm in a prideful state and it was really just the person telling me what I wanted to hear?
Yeah. Okay, so let me...
Was that a good conversation?
Let me reframe the question. What type of conversation would you... Like if you were to choose, like, man, if I could just have this one type of conversation, like this would be, I like live for this type of conversation. Like for me, if I'm thinking about it, it's this podcast, and I'm not trying to be biased, but I love the authenticity that we can talk and just share our crazy stories and ability just to be, not intentionally stupid, because I don't think I'm at all, but like to have fun in a way to where it's like, man, there's laughter, there's joy, but then there's like, man, but what can we learn from this too? Like we're always having fun, but we're always learning, but we're always having fun, and we're always kind of challenging each other too to get better at what we do. And so,
that's the investment we make.
It's the back and forth.
Yeah.
it's the give and take.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of conversations that I can't stand to have, if I think of the opposite, are the conversations that are all about, man, that just sucked the life out of me.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying that you can't have those, because there are those moments to where you do just need to sit there and listen to help a friend or somebody. But man, when they're all that way with a certain individual, it's like, God, it's exhausting.
Well, and even think about how conversations can get lost in translation. Let's talk about text for a minute.
Hey friends, if you're enjoying today's conversation, could you do us a huge favor? Would you take a moment to copy the link from your favorite podcast platform and text that to a friend? I mean, email it to a friend. Hey, if you're in the office right now, hey, airdrop that over to your buddy. Come on, let's do this. Armchair Authentic. It's so much fun. All right, guys, no, seriously though, it means so much to us. Thank you. Now, let's get back to the conversation.
Well, and even think about how conversations can get lost in translation. Let's talk about text for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole different mindset that people have with text, and there's not a right or wrong way.
No.
Because I know different people, different cultures, different mindsets do things different ways. Mm-hmm. And once again, I could have been coming from a pride state, but something I used to couldn't stand. Now I just I'm like, fine.
Yup.
Yes. Yes, that was it.
I don't know how I knew that was going to be the response.
Yeah.
Yup.
I would,
Y-U-P, capital Y-U-P.
Oh, mine was Y-E-P.
Y-E-P. Yep. Oh,
yep. Or yup.
Or yup. Yeah.
So I would send a question to someone I'm working with.
Annoying.
And I would just say, hey, can this get taken care of? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
When I get like the yep. And, they probably meant it well, but the tone that we weren't connecting in that.
No tone, no connection, no.
Or we've been talking about this because we've both received texts like this. And I would love feedback if me and Rhett are going to talk it out for a minute, but if you want to send us in your thoughts, we'll maybe hit it up on another episode. But I'll have people who will reach out to me.
Yeah.
And I know you do too. And it's like, hey.
I just got one the other day,
and it's just
come
hey,
on, man. I'm like,
and it's somebody I haven't connected to in a while,
and all I get is a, I want to say it, but I don't want to say it. Right. But it's just this idea. What other words could I choose? But it's just this almost as if we've been carrying on a conversation for a year, and I don't even know who you are, and it's just so short and to the point, and it's not even to the point. It's like, what is the point of this conversation? What are we trying to start here?
Yeah, it's like, are you? And I'm honest when I'm asking this. When I get a I'll get a yo, or hey.
Do we talk to people? Do we walk up to somebody in person?
What's my response?
Yeah. Like, if I haven't seen you in a year and I sit down and I'm right in front of you face to face, I'm not going, yep, or I'm not going, hey, and just sitting there. Literally, it's like there's so much more to it, but yet we find ourselves in the texting environment thinking this is how we communicate.
Yeah. And I've come to learn.
Now, if I got that from you, one thing, we talk all the time.
I've earned the equity,
right? But
to at least give you a response to be like, hey, what's up?
I mean, how about this? Hey, man, how you doing? I know it's been a while. Just wanted to connect, see how you're doing. I'd love the chance to connect in the future.
That creates a response level.
Man, I don't know, man. And I'm not talking kids sending these kind of texts. I'm talking grown adults.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, hey, just want to follow up. What?
Yeah, I hadn't heard from you in a year.
And so
Does anybody else get these kind of texts?
I think I'm more the type who will be graceful or gracious.
I'm not. I try my best. Sometimes those are the ones I don't respond to.
I'm probably going to respond and say, hey, what's up? To give them, almost help them, because I don't know why somebody's just texting me so simply. Either they're thinking
I'm going to respond with, hey, ! That's it.
That's great. At least you're giving something back to give them a chance. Or some people would just never respond. And it's not right or wrong either way.
No, there's not.
But I usually look at it from the standpoint of either for some reason you've done that and it's all you know.
Yeah.
And there might be a connection we could have. And if I don't give a response, I might miss out on that.
Yeah.
But it will still trigger me a little bit with, I've not heard from you and I'm just getting a simple, hey.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, back.
Yeah.
But if we're just on a hey back,
It's almost like
texting is a little intrusive.
Yeah, and it's like it's been so long since you've heard from this individual, and you didn't even really have a close enough relationship with him anyway. It's almost to the point of like, is this spam? Is this
right?
Like, is this one of those?
Yeah.
Like a phishing spam, like this phone number has been changed and it's somebody with this number and they're just trying to get a conversation started.
Yeah.
And you think there's somebody, but they might be another.
Yeah.
Like, how about, hey, I know it's been a year. This is so-and-so, right?
Yeah.
And that, like, I don't want to assume.
Right. I'm so with you.
Yeah.
And I really want to, it would be so, I would love to know if there's a mindset behind that.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because with me, I don't have to respond. I do more for the credit of if I recognize a name.
Yeah.
If it's like a number or I don't know that I'm expecting a text from somebody, if I don't recognize it, I don't even respond.
Right.
Because they need to give me a little bit more. Yeah. But if it's someone that I know, but I'm just getting a random deal, I'll at least give a response. Mm-hmm. Because what I'm looking for is connection. Like there's a point that you're reaching out to me.
Of a conversation.
There's something that you're reaching out to me for, but you're not quite saying.
Yeah.
And have I cast a presence that you feel like I'm not available, so you're being gentle?
Yeah.
I don't think that I do that, but I could and not be aware of it. Or do they just not have an awareness in this situation? Or do they think we're very close in their mind and they think a hey is very appropriate? Or just following up with you. Like I need to be followed up with.
Context, self-awareness. Like I think we've gotten into a society where we've just kind of thrown some of this out the window. I call it common sense, man. It's like if I'm going to communicate with somebody, I'm trying to think through the lens of how much relational equity do I have with this person?
Yeah.
And if I'm building a relationship and I've only had maybe one or two encounters in person, and then I'm sending a text, brother, it's going to be more than what's up. Like it's literally going to be, hey, this is, man, I hope you're having a great day. I'm recognizing that I'm wanting to be kind, but I want to be self-aware enough to know that I do not want to assume that we have a really deep relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be respectful and build that bridge, but I'm going to give more than just what's up.
Yeah.
Life, the ceiling, the sky, the clouds, the rain that drops on our head. Like, I don't know, like, what's up? I'm like,
right.
Who is this? You know, like, I don't know. Right. I don't know, man. Does anybody else get these kind of texts, or is it just Justin and I?
Well, and I think
oh man,
you know, I might go to the other side of it.
And I don't want to sound snobby with this either, as if, oh man, you just won't respond to your text. No, like
well, that's why we're talking open.
Yeah,
you're having an open conversation,
yeah.
and our listening audience is getting to just hear some of this.
Yeah.
But I do that with you just because our brains are still wired to receive information. And I don't think I do this because I want it, but sometimes I do things because of that. But like even this morning, you know I'm coming. It's like, you know, hey, I'll be there at 8. But I don't just say that. It was
You're like I'm 5 minutes away.
But also I wrote, good morning.
Yeah.
I'll be there at 8 a.m.
You did.
Yeah. It's like, we've built so much stinking equity. I don't have to.
Yeah.
But there's still times that, yes, I don't always have to do that.
Yeah, I get
but
it.
if I can think about that, I still want to kind of brighten the moment. Mm-hmm. Like I can send a request for something, you know, with my job that I need to get taken care of. Maybe I'm ordering a book with my role, and I'll send an email to one of my friends that one of the roles that she does, she'll make sure that things are ordered for us.
Yeah.
She does a great job, and I could just email and say, hey, would you order this for me? But I have such a respect. My response is I say the name, and then I'll say, hope whatever it is. Happy Monday.
I hope you're having a
great day. Hey,
I hope today's been awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I was,
would you mind ordering this book for me? I mean, So I probably don't, unless I'm really praying for them.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I'm probably not over saying it.
No, man, when I say I'm praying for somebody,
you're really meaning it.
I'm meaning it because I'm like, Father, I thank you for this person right now, for what they do. And I ask that you bless them. And then I'll be like, man, praying for you, God.
Absolutely.
Like that's honest.
That's but with this person, I'm usually just,
for
even for work, I'm just saying like, hope you're having a great day.
Yeah. It's something simple.
It's simple.
Yeah.
Would you mind ordering me this?
Yeah.
For this reason. Thank you.
And I get the other side of going, why do I have to always qualify things with people that know I love them? I should just be able to text them and go, "Hey, order this book for me. Thanks." Oh, and so I get,
sure you could
totally do that. And I see that side of it too, but I would encourage you, if that's you, to lean to the other side, to take 3 more seconds and give yourself a hand cramp with just 3 more letters or 5 more letters to say, or however many letters create a sentence of, man, I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for all that you do.
There's a value you just added.
Just that little bit of affirmation, that little bit of you're actually a human. Yeah. And I actually do hope that you're having a good day.
Yeah.
I trust you're doing well. I'll send that to people that I haven't talked to in a while. Hey, I know it's been a minute. I trust that you're doing well. That's just a nice way to say, hey, man, I don't want to just jump into the business, because I really do. Like, I appreciate you, and I do hope things are going well. There are some things we need to connect about, but sure. I do. It isn't just a nicety. It is truly coming from a place of intentionality, of caring. Yeah. It's this pastoral, and I don't call it pastoral. It's just being a kind human. Yeah. It's the fruit of the Spirit.
It's a connection that there was still a connection in that message. And they're reading your words. Mm-hmm. What kind of connection do you want to make in that moment?
I've literally sent the text to a team and be like, hey, can you do this for me really quick? And then I will respond after going, crap. I am so sorry. I won't put the word crap in there, but I'll be like, please forgive me. Good morning. I hope you're having a great day. I appreciate what you do. And I'm like, they're not asking for it. Yeah. But it's my way of going, wow, I came out the gate just so task oriented, and
it's so true. Yeah.
I can't hide behind the fact of, oh, well, you're just a task person, and so that's who you are. And so people ought to just understand you're a task person, and no, we have grace to grow in every area. Just because I've leaned toward task first doesn't mean I don't need to work towards being relational. Yeah. Even if it's a small little relational connection.
That's where it can go both ways, because I also agree that for people who get their feelings hurt so easy, don't get your feelings, work. I don't want, that's such a statement. Don't work towards not having your feelings hurt so easy and let people off the hook. Those of you who just give so direct orders, try to consider the person you're communicating with. Because there is as we heard in our podcast episode 2 weeks ago, tough skinned. Yeah. You have developed the tough skin, but I think we should also have tender heart. Mm-hmm. Tough skin, tender heart. Tough skin, you need to strengthen it up. Mm-hmm. Tender heart, hey, consider what you're saying. Thank God for the edit button now that you can edit text. I know. Because I've given the orders before. Hey, I need this done. If you don't mind taking care of it. And then I'll be like, oh, and I'll go back, edit, and I'll say, good morning. Hope you're having a great day. Hey, would you get this done?
And the other side of it is too, though, if you don't mean it, don't send it. I mean, if you could really care less that somebody's having a good morning or they're doing well, then don't send it. I mean, if that's not your heart, I mean, you should work towards that. Yeah. I think in self-awareness of who you're talking to, because who in the world wants to work for somebody that just feels like they're just getting bam, 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 and no appreciation or care. They won't stay in your organization long.
You probably want to err on the side of grace versus the other side. Yeah. In both parties, there's a way we can grow. Mm-hmm. You never know what someone's been through when they get your message. Or when they have your presence walk through the room. What have they already been through? Exactly. How can I be consistent today to at least, I've got something to take care of, but can I at least take about 2 minutes and say, hey guys, good morning. How you doing?
How long? Yeah.
What's going on?
Exactly.
Good to see you. And then go in there. Can you take that extra moment, like you said a while ago in your text, and just say, hey, I hope you're well. Would you, and then put whatever you want to request. You at least gave that initial connection.
Yeah. Or, hey, man, I know this may seem like it's coming out of left field because we haven't talked in a few months.
Acknowledge.
I hope you're doing well, and I hope we can stay connected better moving forward. But I've got a question, and here it is. Yeah. And just get to it.
Yeah, that's right.
That is a very, I don't know, it just self-awareness seems to be lacking. And maybe I don't know, or maybe I have no idea. I just think that we're at a place to where I would encourage people to think before they text. Just like they should think before they respond.
The way me and you know that we're wired, though, we're going to think more on this side. And that's why we say it we're not saying it's the right way.
No.
But it's something to consider. And I'll go back to what I said. You don't have to be so thin-skinned that everything hurts your feelings either. So
kind of
that side, strengthen up. This side, be considerate. Strengthen up, consider.
So when it comes to getting your coffee from Starbucks and it's not in a paper cup, you just need to be a little bit more thick-skinned. and just be a little bit more and be a little bit more tender-hearted in realizing, okay, I'll be a little bit more sustainable.
I need Rhett, wounds from a friend.
Wound from the friend. Yeah. No,
Starbucks.
and hey, I flip it back on me.
Starbucks, let me apologize to you. Listen, you hurt my feelings the other day when you gave me a porcelain cup.
Hold on, let me cue the B-roll music here to set this. All right, go ahead.
Starbucks, you hurt my feelings the other day when you gave me the porcelain cup, and you really didn't put a lot of care into the way you put the vanilla syrup and whipped cream. You handed me my porcelain cup with nothing in it. And when I didn't retrieve it because I didn't want to touch it because now you can't take it back to add the stuff, you looked at me and said, your coffee's ready. And then I kindly said, but does it have vanilla syrup or whipped cream in it? Which it clearly didn't. So instead of putting the great care, you just doused some vanilla syrup and you sprayed whipped cream just all over the cup. And now I have coffee and cream and vanilla all over my hands when I took that porcelain cup. It frustrated me a little bit, Starbucks. But you've been so good to me all these years, and I would like to think that you should have the equity for me to give you another chance. I do hope that you'll make my coffee better next time. But Starbucks, I'll be back on Thursday because I appreciate all that you do. I'm sorry for being thin-skinned in that incident.
I'm proud of you, Justin.
Thank you, Rhett.
It goes the opposite way too.
Okay.
My 7 brew.
Oh, wow.
7 brew. Oh, wow. I used to hate you. Today is a new day. My friend has encouraged me to give you another shot, even though I think I should not. I'm going to trust the wounds of a friend and come through your drive-thru again. But this time, I would appreciate you not flirting with me. And allow me to be the man that I am with my coffee in hand as I drive through again. Sincerely, Rhett.
I'm proud of you, Rhett.
Are you proud of me?
I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
Good rhymes.
I was trying to rhyme, but
you did. I thought that was a fine job. No, I think people would think that you were actually reading that. It was that good.
It wasn't? Okay.
It was. Good job. We've made some strides today, Rhett.
Yeah, we really have.
I'm proud of us.
I am proud of us. What a great conversation.
I'm proud of us.
There was a connection.
There was
value added.
Yeah.
There was value received.
You hurt me a little bit by calling me out. But I'm sure I did the same thing with you with the coffee comment, and it wasn't a jab at you with the prayer comment, but it probably insulted a little bit. But you had to qualify what you probably deserved to in that moment.
Yeah, appreciate it. And the guy that texted me that short little phrase.
That's right.
I will pray for you today and always.
Are you gonna?
We all have room to grow.
Have you or will you respond?
I have not.
But
I shall.
Okay. Proud
respond.
of you.
I don't know what rhymes with respond.
I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you. We'll see. I'll let you know. We'll see. We'll see is like the epitome of Oh man!
But that's what you get on another episode of Armchair Authentic.
Talk about authentic conversations. You're getting the reality here. We might have the grace to have to go back and go, yeah, we got better since that episode. I don't know.
I thought that was just heartfelt, man.
I do want to say, like,
this honest conversation.
It's important to have conversations like this, but also with the grace to know that we're going to grow. Like, we're going to get better. And I don't mean that as far as content creation on this podcast. I mean it as individuals. My hope is that this time next year, I'm a little bit better than where I was now with my conversations, with my texting, with my self-awareness, with my grace that I offer and the olive branch that I offer people who,
absolutely,
might not, that might need some growth.
Well, and I think with our moments, you're reminding me of another apology, but I don't know if it is an apology, but let's just see where it goes.
Okay.
Dear Abercrombie and Fitch.
On the next episode of Armchair Authentic, like, people were wearing this stuff.
No, we don't ever talk anymore.
We don't ever talk anymore. So.
Will you love me again like you loved me before?
I'm sorry.
It's the fourth album.
Will you take me back?
I wanted dreadlocks so bad. We find this, it's like a shotgun style, barbershop.
Full bars on the window.
We knocked on the door. You heard all the latches coming off. The door opened up.
We're not making it, like, we are not exaggerating. I promise you there were at least 6 locks.
Oh my gosh. And me and Rhett walked on in. The lady opened it up for us.
Yeah.
And she said, "What y'all want?" and I tried to use more of my tough voice. So I'm like, "I want some dreads." And I'm yelling across the store to her.
Yeah, so Coming to America, the best barbershop scene where they're all laughing and have a good time and making fun of people and stuff. Just imagine a beauty shop, just it's women now.
Laughter like you cannot believe. And me and Rhett are just standing there in our overalls and our Dikembe Mutombo shoes.
We cannot wait for that conversation. But until then, we hope you have a great day. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you for sharing this conversation with a friend. And we look forward to seeing you next Monday for a new conversation with your friends, Rhett and Justin, right here at Armchair Authentic. God bless.